right. Welcome to the 290 More podcast. I appreciate your time. If you could, introduce yourself for my viewers and listeners.
Hey y'all, my name is Cakes. That's spelled Cvkes. I'm a singer-songwriter from Chicago. I just released a song actually yesterday, so if y'all want to check that out, my Instagram is cakes_music. Okay.
So, what I wanted to ask you from the first time, like seeing like your Instagram stuff, like how do you come up with your name, like to even
My name.
yeah, how do you like to spell it like that and everything? Like,
Yeah. So, well, I
what's the story?
said, "What's the story?" So basically, what it was is when I was coming up with a name, I was really kind of starting off with like DJing. So that was sort of where it all.
You were DJing,
Yes.
like
Yeah. DJing. That's kind of like where the music stuff started. Like I really wanted to also provide vocals, but like make and produce.
so.
Like
The
EDM
DJing came
music.
first.
DJing came first.
How do we get the love for it? How do we get into DJing? I've never met a female DJ ever.
Really?
No.
I mean, I loved electronic music, and it was a way to kind of like start, working through that and trying to get to a point where I'm DJing, I'm doing this, and I got connected with a few people who were able to teach me and go from there. And then me and my buddy used to DJ around like certain clubs and bars too. So. But basically, like the name, when I was choosing a name that kind of was more so about me, I wanted to do patty cakes, but I felt like that was super childish, so I was like, no. And I really like dessert. I really like to bake and all that. So my friend was like, why don't you just shorten it and just leave cakes? And like the DJ thing, the EDM thing, I guess to be like flip the A upside down. So that's why it's spelled CVK.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, that's what I was wondering. I'm thinking V the whole time. I was like, I don't
I
understand.
was like, how do you pronounce your name? Psyche?
Right? I was like, how do you?
Cervix? I'm like,
How
no.
do you get cakes from that? Like you gotta break it down for me. Cool. So coming up before the DJ, like what was your aspirations to be? Like was it like some doctor, lawyer, teacher? Like,
I guess for me, I just always wanted to help people. So I feel like when I was kind of coming up and like figuring out what I want to do with my life, teacher was definitely one of them because I did like thoroughly enjoy school. So,
wow.
I'm trying to think if there was anything that was super prominent in what I wanted to do. And it's like, no, I really didn't know until, whatever. But I've always liked to sing and I've always liked to write. So the teacher, I wanted to be an English teacher. So, you know what I mean? For me, it was just like this aspect of writing. And I feel like from that is kind of like what led me here. Everything just kind of like aligned as we went forward.
So you're DJing. What's your family's response like?
They were not messing with the idea at all.
None of them like.
Nope. They were like,
you didn't even have a wait. Let me explain moment.
No, literally like you're throwing your life away. Go to school. You do. Because I didn't go to a university or like a college. I mean, I went to music school.
Me neither.
Yeah, I went to
I went to Job
SAE.
Corps.
like trade school vibes, but I went to SAE actually, and it was a music school, and they also weren't messing with that. I had to pay for that because I was like, all right, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm interested in. And I think for them, they just didn't really see sustenance in that because it's like obviously, yeah, it's not that easy to just make money doing this, but
For sure.
if you love your craft and you give it enough time and dedication, I feel like you can get to attainable goals. And until I got to a point where my parents saw what I was doing was very serious, that's when they were like, all right, we support you full force. So it took some time, but they were not messing with the idea, no.
Yeah.
They never came to any of my DJing gigs, ever.
What you mentioned music school. What was that like? Is that something that you recommend? Is it something that you would do over? Is it something that you
So my thoughts on that are this. Is it necessary? No, because you can learn everything, online or through even like being in an environment around certain artists or other people. But what I will say though is from school, what you do get is connections, and that's what's most important. So like, if you're willing to pay for your education and go down that route, there is a lot of benefits to it because again, the connections are there. So it's like I met Chanel at SAE, and now we're doing stuff together now. So it's just like, would I have met her had I not gone to music school?
Okay.
Probably not. Same with my other friends. Like, I met them there, and we continue to make music and do things, later on in life. Same with the teachers. The teachers who have a lot of like dope, things under their belt. We now have a connection with them just because we were in the same environment. So I think it's definitely beneficial for that. But can you obtain this information online? Yes. So it just depends on what you want to do and what route you want to go.
That's dope. That's dope. And shout out to Chanel, because, you know what I'm saying, when I was watching you perform, I could have sworn that's like your sister, the way she was.
No, honestly, that's
the way she was
how it is.
supporting you. Like, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you met her, you know what I'm saying, through that connection. That's dope. That's awesome. So what was your support outside, you know what I'm saying, like mom, dad, you know what I'm saying? How was your friends respond to you, you know what I'm saying, DJing, you know what I'm saying, being out in the clubs, you know what I'm saying?
My friends have always been really supportive. You know what I mean? Like, they would even pop out to some of my shows whenever they could and do all that. So I feel very grateful and blessed, because I feel like I've been blessed with friends who are super supportive. My like immediate friend group, you know what I mean? And it's just like, anytime that I would have something, somebody would be popping out. You know what I mean? And so for that, I am always grateful for it, because I feel like, I don't know if anybody has the same kind of deal going on, but
Hell no. Well, nobody at my show.
So I'm like, but at the same time, like, I do understand too that it gets to a certain point too where I do notice like there's some animosity, and this is not from my immediate friend group, but just from like people that when you're like doing shit.
Yeah, of course.
And you're like, I'm just doing what I gotta do. Like, why are y'all mad?
Because they're not doing what they want. A lot of people they be jealous just because, you know what I'm saying, even though they might not have the same dream as you, you're chasing your dream, or you're doing what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? And they might be scared or
right. And
worried
let me tell
about
you,
what, you know what I'm saying?
don't be scared. If it's one thing, fear is like the number one killer of anything. And I just like, once you get over that fear, I promise you it's bliss. This is to anybody out there. It's bliss. You just gotta get through the little hurdles of being scared.
And I got one more DJ question for you. I'm sorry for the DJ questions. I'm considering starting a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
I have a whole mixing board and everything, so you just let me know. I got you. I literally got all the setup, got the equipment, whatever.
I'd be like at events, and I'd be like, man, I could do way better. Like, I'd just be sensing the crowd. I'd be like, that's not what they want to hear, stuff like that. But let me ask you this: like, being a DJ, sometimes have you ever had like a shaky situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, like parties, stuff jump off, or you know what I'm saying? Anything wild happen at an event that you were DJing?
Nothing.
And you said EDM music, ain't that?
Yeah. I mean, we definitely would be in that vein. But has anything wild ever happened? Like, nobody's ever spilled anything on us. No, nothing crazy like that.
Okay.
I've seen like some things happen like online that people have shared, but like luckily nothing has ever happened to us where like power went out or this. There's only been times where it's like we mess something up, then we gotta like real quick make sure nobody notices, go to the next song, do what we gotta do. But that's probably the only thing. I haven't had anything that I was just like, what's going on?
For sure. So you mentioned like having a passion already for writing music. But before then, like, what were you listening to? What was being played in the household? Like, what did you come up listening to?
Well, I'm Polish. I'm from Poland. I was born there.
For real?
So, yes.
I'm sorry. So when did you come to America?
When I was like 5 years old, going on 6. Yeah, but we go back to Poland back and forth because we still have our house there. So, yeah, very much. I don't even know where that's at
on the map. I just know. Is it anywhere close like to like the Ukraine conflict?
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, Ukraine and Poland, they do share some border, but it's a like small portion. But yeah, they're like right next. I guess right next door.
But like your people cool and stuff?
Yes, our people are cool.
Okay,
we're cool. We're straight.
Cool, for sure. Man, it's crazy over there, man.
I know. No, we're cool. Hold on, what was the question again? I forgot.
Come on, I done took my glaucoma medicine already. I can't recall stuff that quick.
It was.
I asked you like, what was being played in the household? What did you come up listening to?
Yeah, so we, coming from Poland, it was a lot of like electronic music again, techno, that kind of deal. There's this one genre of Polish music. It's called disco polo. any of my Polacks are gonna know.
Oh, sure.
So it's very like electronic type of vibe, and I feel like I grew up listening to that a lot. So like house and all that, all these things were introduced to me very early. And I honestly, when I grew up, I didn't listen to a lot of like rap, R&B, not until obviously we came here. And then I just kind of was more so surrounded around it, and just whatever was kind of mainstream, whatever I was listening to, that's kind of what I vibed with. But I also really liked different genres, always. I was never stuck on one specific thing. Like I would play Rock Band a lot, I'd play Guitar Hero, and I'd learn different like songs from there.
You got skill. I could never do that shit. I could never.
It was
to
so
this
fun. I
day,
was in that.
I could never.
I didn't do
that
homework, but I did Guitar Hero.
Shit. Could never do it. So my sister had the guitar, the drums, the DJ. I could never.
Oh yes, we were live. So I also really like indie rock and all that. Like Paramore, my favorite band of all time. I love Paramore. Yeah.
Any big American artists in Poland? Like anybody in Poland that's American that they be like, oh, they raw as hell, or it's just pretty much?
Definitely, probably more of the like super huge ones. The really mainstream. Like I feel like in Poland they know everything that you know. It all kind of translates over, but sometimes it just takes a little bit more time. But they are definitely more on the vibe of just more electronic, kind of like upbeat, that type of style. So I feel like rap is also really big there, but not as big as it is here.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course. I heard you say like Polak. That's not like a derogatory term. Like that's not.
To me, it's not.
Okay, that's why I had that. I was just asking because I went to school in a Polish neighborhood, and we would say
they're like,
Polak.
"Oh,
So I was just making sure.
I never thought it was.
That's what we'd say. So it's good to know this.
No, I never thought it was.
We weren't offending nobody.
No, I hope not. I'm like, hey, I'm from Poland, so we're good.
Okay, so you mentioned writing. Like, what was some of these early writings about? Like, what was you writing about?
I would always change the lyric. Like, I'd make parody lyrics to songs.
So
that
it was
were
always
popular.
music straight off the porch.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just either I would do that, or I also was really, again, interested in like writing from just an aspect of even like writing books or like writing things down, stories, things like that. That has always been like a huge thing for me. So I feel like when I was a lot younger, I was really scared, and I loved to sing, but I was like, I'm never gonna do that because how could I sing in front of people? Not possible. I would like be in my basement like singing to my little teddy bears and whatnot, and be like, yeah, not gonna do that. So let's scratch that one off the list.
Not even mom and dad at that time.
No, I did not sing. Nobody knew. Like, no.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. Nope, not at all. I was so scared to even just like, but I don't know, just time went forward, and like I really liked the aspect of writing, and it came so easily to me that I think until I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this music stuff, I'm tying in this like love for both writing and singing together, you know what I mean? And that to me is the greatest thing, because in order to tell a story, I'm utilizing both aspects. I'm utilizing the voice, and now I'm utilizing the words. And like, I think the aspect of storytelling in music is what is most important to me. So
That's what I noticed. You be talking shit in your music. Like every song, every piece of music I listen to, like none of it's bullshit. It's all like, I want to ask you, like, is it all like real life experience in every song?
For the most part, yeah. It is mainly, the stuff that's out at least is all real life experiences, and just like, I am really big on healing and just healing the masses. Not even just healing for myself, but healing the masses. So it's like, my music, I write to tell stories just so that somebody can go from point A to point B, and it could even include something painful, but I want to always kind of like end it on a note of just like, healing, where it's just taking you on this journey of like, okay, this situation happened, but it's gonna be okay. And my EDM stuff that's gonna be coming out this year, it's going to be depicting a lot more of the emotional kind of like essence of things, and I'm very excited to release some of those songs with the producers that I'm working with too. Like, they're so great. So yeah. Yes.
I hear a lot of artists, I talk to a lot of artists, and they say like music is like self-healing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But I rarely hear them say, I want to hear other people. Like, why you want to hear other people? Like, why just, I'm working on me. Fuck everybody else.
I genuinely love people, and I believe in the world. You know what I mean? And it's like, that sounds so cliche, but it's It's
It's
just who
not.
I am.
It's not.
You
Because
know what
I
I mean?
don't.
Because
We need people like you out there.
it just everybody is just so divided nowadays. You know what I mean? And
For
it's
sure.
just like
For sure.
my thing is I really truly believe in the aspect of coming together, and sometimes that is going to include being with people who may not agree with certain things and whatever, but it's just like this whole thing of competition and being against one another to me doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day we're all human. So I would love to inspire others to kind of like, get to that point and just really have truly an understanding of not only themselves, because sometimes like people be acting a specific way because they have internal traumas, you know what I mean? And
For
it's
sure.
just like, you don't got to do all that. Just heal and it's going to be all good.
For sure. So when you create music, talk to me about your creative process. Like you mentioned being a writer, but are you writing in the studio? Are you coming to the studio with projects already done? Because your music sounds like A-list, like music, like
Thank you.
Like I could tell when people take time and write their music,
Thank
vice
you.
versa. Somebody just hurry, I'm trying to put something together.
Yes,
So
no.
if you could just talk about that a little bit.
So actually most of my songs have been written in the car.
What?
Yes.
I was not expecting that.
Yes.
I thought it was like one of my cliches questions, and you just flipped it on his
I
head.
did.
So
She said,
explain. Thank
I
you.
flipped the script. Because okay, what I used to do, like back in the day, I would make voice memos and I'd just record little recordings of just like things that I would come up with of me singing specific like words, written things, like whatever. And I like being in the car and like coming up with things sometimes because I can play the track really loud and I can sing and I can like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like the vibe for me is there, and it's allows me to like really really tune into the song.
I feel that's why I do my most singing in the car.
You know, exactly. So it's just like I can really tune into the song and really feel it, and like even coming up with certain melodies, because it depends on the track. Like sometimes the track will speak to me and I'll just automatically come up with something and it's like, cool, great. But if it's not at that point, then I'm coming up with mumbles or like some sort of hums or melodies to go along with the track, and then from that I'll like listen to it and then I'll write lyrics, pick like a theme based on whatever, or if the song itself already feels very thematic in like some specific way, then I know what I'm writing about. But it's mainly from the car to my room and then to the studio, because I have like at my place I have my own little setup and I record, and actually some of the songs that I do
noticed
have
that.
yeah, with producers across seas, like I'll record that and just send them things through Discord, and then they'll just use that and we'll go from there.
I need to learn how to use Discord.
It's such a vibe. I just learned last year.
A little confused, but I need to learn it because I be playing the PC game. I'll
Yeah.
be playing Grand Theft Auto and they be like, bro, get on Discord. I'm
Yup.
like, what the fuck is Discord?
It's honestly it is a good, definitely good platform to use, and I just got on the wave last year, and I will say from it, like I've met people from the UK, I've met people from India, like shout out DCO, shout out DK, shout out Judgment. I'm let 'em all know.
I'm gonna do some more research. But
But-
I swear I watched a YouTube video and I still was like, what?
Yeah.
But
Once you like go, it's kind of like a spaceship. Once you learn the controls, it becomes easier and easier. But I'm not
sure.
like, I'm not Discord queen over here. So.
yeah, I learned because I don't got no background in none of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just was like, how do you
Yep.
do this?
Little
You know what I'm
Google.
saying? For sure. So, for sure. So I had a question I want to ask off of that. And so I want to ask you like, so you basically, you know what I'm saying, grew up not sharing your music with nobody, and from your creative process, it still sounds pretty solo. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
does
yeah, I would say.
anybody here like, you know what I'm saying? Do you ever, you know what I'm saying, be like, yo, check this out? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
See how this sound, and if you do, who are those people, and how much does their opinion matter?
I definitely, I'm the type of person or the type of artist that I bring the producer along with the whole entire story, because sometimes it's like, especially working with like EDM producers, you know, it's our song, you know what I mean? And I know that they have a vision for the song too, so it's like I want to make sure that like whatever I come up with works with what they kind of got going on. So definitely like bringing the producer along with the process is really big for me. And even if I'm doing R&B or anything along those lines, I still invite the producer to the studio or like bring him along with what I'm writing about, just so he's aware of what I'm doing with, his music essentially, or hers. I'm like, thus far I've only worked with males, so I'm sorry that I just put that right there, but whatever. So either those, and then my friends too. My friends will hear when I'm coming up with certain things that I'm just like, okay, this is a bop, and they'll usually just give me feedback from there. My parents too, sometimes where I'm like, hey, look at what I got going on.
So their view on the music is different from the DJing.
Yes. Oh yeah. Now they love my stuff.
Okay,
No, they
okay.
they definitely prefer my EDM stuff over my R&B. Probably just because that's just what it is.
You
They're
be talking that
European.
shit now. R&B.
They're like, okay, that's a little much for me.
Right.
But no, they definitely mess with it now. So I'm like, cool. So those, I would say that those people are probably the only ones. And do their opinion matter? Yes, their opinions matter. But at the end of the day, if I know or hear a specific thing that I'm not agreeing with them on, what they say about it, then I'll go and do what I gotta do. But for the producers, oh yeah, their opinion definitely matters, because I even tell them, like, if you need me to change anything, I have absolutely no problem doing that, because I want to make sure that you're happy too. So
Okay, that's dope. So you attested to working with the producer real close. What about working with other artists? Is that something that you like to do? Something you'd rather not do?
Yes. No, I'm definitely, like, Chanel and I have started working on some songs together, and
Oh, y'all gotta have music together.
Yes, it's a vibe. And other artists, in terms of, like, I guess, producers or music artists that do, like, yeah, I'll work with them. And I'm definitely open to collabs on anything, because I just love to create. So for me, it's like, if we can sit down and work on a song together, we're creating magic, essentially. So I'm always down to collab, and I'm always down to create. Sometimes there's going to be instances where I don't, not that I don't vibe with the person or anything like that, but, maybe the track or something isn't speaking to me, and that's totally okay. It just depends. Like, I'm a very go with the flow kind of, like, whatever aligns. So
What if the other person is spitting some hot garbage? Is it just like, I'm gonna just do my part and go crazy? Is it like, I think you should do this or do that? Is that something you haven't had experience?
I have not had that experience yet, luckily.
Okay.
Will it happen? Maybe. I mean, I have had instances where I'm just like, I'm just not vibing with this track, and then I'll just be upfront and honest and be like, look, it's just, nothing is coming to me right now, and I can't. It's just not happening. I'm like, maybe for another track, I try to just be very honest about certain things. But if I were to be in that situation and somebody's spitting hot garbage, I would probably I'd be very nice. I'd be like, I just don't think that I don't think I could come up with anything right now.
For sure. I was just saying, because I hear a lot of hot garbage. I hear a lot of it. Like, people send me the shit, like, to my inbox. I'd be like, why would you send me this? Right. But so with doing music, you know what I'm saying? It's like always, it's like little cliques and little groups. And is that something that you also deal with, or something you got a little group that you stick with?
I mean, I would say, like, I know that myself, I can speak for myself, saying that I'm always open to just everybody, because, again, like, one, I love the collaborative energy, and I love working with other people. And again, I genuinely love people. So to me, I don't mind. Do I notice that stuff like that goes down? Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. And then, there's certain instances where I feel like some people maybe won't work with you because you're not at a specific level, or like this or that, or like this person said this. I try to not surround myself with, like, people who are very cliquey or this or whatever, because I just want to be surrounded by energy that I feel good being around, and not, uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So, does it exist? Yes. Am I around it? I try not to be.
So what I want to ask you, and I was talking to a coworker of mine. He reminds me. He reminds me not of you. 'Cause he's this guy, but he, like, does music, like, y'all vibes like similar, you know what I'm saying, from what I know, just from, you know what I'm saying. But like, we was talking about it, so I'm gonna ask you this question, you know what I'm saying. What is it like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like kind of double for you, because you're from originally from Poland. So,
Yeah.
what's it like doing music and being in a venue where you may be like the only, you know what I'm saying? Not to disrespect you by calling you white, you know what I'm saying? Because
It's
you're
okay.
Polish or anything, but the only white person in the room.
Yeah.
Like, is that something you have to get used to? Was it like, well, what's that like?
Yeah,
You know
I feel like usually with my R&B stuff is when I'll kind of like come across that, and it is something that I do have to get used to, because it's just like I feel like for me, I never want to like, I'm always like, like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That's just the person that I am. But I feel like also when people vibe with you and you vibe with them, like the energy is just right. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter at that point who or what or this or that. We're just vibing. Like at the last event, it was so fun. Like I had such a good time, and everybody was coming up to me and being like, hey, da, 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 da. So I feel like when you have that, there's absolutely no reason to like feel like you need to, I don't know, just feel any type of way about it. You know what I mean?
Because
But-
he was like, he said he loved it. He said he always have,
he said, I'm here.
He's like he loved it. He's like, it was always a good time. What about, you know what I'm saying? I was like, and that's because, and it's like being an artist as well, you know what I'm saying? Especially like at the level, you know what I'm saying, like the underground level that some would say, is like sometimes you may find yourself in a venue that may not be in the greatest of neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? Are you doing like research? Are you going by yourself? Are you
I just usually just
concealed
go.
to carry or anything,
Just-
you know?
He said concealed to-
Karate lessons, you know what I'm saying?
No, honestly, like I'm gonna keep it 100%
I know
real.
Dad's going crazy.
I mean,
Shout out to Dad.
she said, "Shout out
Shout out
to
to
Dad." I just go, and the way that I see it is just like God will put me in whatever situations I need to be in. So I don't really think that I would ever be put in a situation where, you know what I mean. So
sure.
I never feel unsafe or anything where I'm like, or doing research on a specific place. I'm just like, we're divinely blessed no matter
I
what.
feel you 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like I
So.
feel like I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
so I'm just like, cool, great.
Right, for sure. But you know what I'm saying? Just me as a somebody with a daughter. You know what I'm saying? She's a
But
baby
I know my
now,
dad.
but I
Yeah,
just-
my dad's like, okay, just make sure this.
Like, you
and
going
da-da-da,
where?
da-da."
Doing what?
Literally, my
I'm buying a ticket.
no, he's like, where? So please put on your location, this, that, and you know, like I do understand that, and I of course I love that, like he has that protective energy, and just to be like, okay, but again, I just feel like internally, I feel good. So if I feel good, then I know I'm gonna be all right.
Your music sounds so personable. What I want to ask you is, does somebody out there hearing the music like that's she talking to me? Is it that personable?
I would hope. I would want, that's kind of like what I want, because it's I want people to feel, you know what I mean? And
I guess I'm beating around the bush.
yeah.
So y'all, when I first seen her perform, she said she had a diss track. So the person you made that diss track to, do they know it's about them, or is
Yeah,
it just
no,
a diss
yes.
track for everybody that just applies?
It's a little bit of both, but that one was specifically for that person, and yes, that person doesn't know that it is about them, and he's also
Wow.
heard it, so
Wow.
he also has a diss track, but I don't know.
What?
I don't know if he's ever gonna release that. So.
What? He got a diss track against you?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I gotta release it.
If you're watching this, release the diss track. The people want to hear it.
If you're watching this,
I don't think he would watch this, but
book your interview. I bet not find out who you are, sir. I bet not find
please.
out.
Hey,
I bet not find out. Hey, I'm just doing my job. You guys got diss tracks? Come on.
Yeah.
Now. Wow.
yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what was the inspiration behind, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to go into details of the situation, but for you to even be like, I'm going to come out, you know what I'm saying, and say this is a diss track. Like, that's another thing. Like, and it's great that you do that, because, you know what I'm saying, it's original, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a couple times I've been doing a thing like this. I'm saying I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So, you definitely doing the right thing.
I feel like, especially with this person, like the back and forth, and it's just
That's what it
this
what?
kind
I'm
of like
missing? Gotta do
it's
some more research.
no, please don't.
You must got an X page. You got a Twitter page.
No. I do have a Twitter page.
That's
have a
where all the
Twitter page.
stuff at. That's where you find all the stuff at on Twitter. You gotta pay for it now, so that's why I don't got it. But
Low key, probably, yeah. You'd be able to figure out everything from my Twitter. But it was just, I got to the point where it's just like felt like, okay, I keep trying to prove myself to this person and it's not necessarily getting through to them. And it's just like the situation that transpired kind of got me to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out and just do what I gotta do. Cause sometimes like when I have feelings about something, like that it needs to come out. Like I'll text my producer that I work with mainly, and I'm just like, I got feelings, and he'll send me a beat. He'll send me a whole pack of beats, and then I'm like, that one. You know what I mean? Whatever I kind of vibe to, and at that point in time, I just, instead of me going and trying to prove myself to this person, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just prove something to myself instead, and I'm gonna really just speak on what I feel, because I haven't really done that, you know what I mean, in terms of like actually speaking to this person. I haven't like made a track like that, and so it was kind of like I want to make a track like that, and also I want to get these feelings out, because again, like my music is healing for me as much as it is for others. If people have gone through specific situations and they feel very, you know, like they can relate to my music, then that's the best thing that I could do. So
Going back to the connections a little bit, like going through your stuff, like your music sounds good, the visuals look good. Where do you meet like a producer? You know what I'm saying? Where did you some of your reels, like it looked like you did it yourself. Like where did you learn like the knowledge? You know what I'm saying, for stuff like this?
just through, I mean, I for especially for the social media stuff, like that's all just been kind of like just doing it and
Like
just
you
kinda
real talented
figuring
with
it
that
out.
shit.
Thank
Real,
you, because
like,
honestly,
you doing your shit. You doing your shit. Once your followers go up, you gonna have all that shit already established. That it's just gonna go crazy.
it's a lot of work, but I feel like definitely content creation is a huge part of just like the world right now.
For sure.
And
Big part.
just getting inspiration from like other artists, seeing kind of like what the world likes, and also just being around other music artists that are friends of mine, you know what I mean, that I can kind of like pick their brains. And it was a matter of a bunch of things. Like I learned myself, but also I asked, you know, other artists for not necessarily help, but just tips and tricks and whatever I could do to kind of like get to that point. And then, you know, whoever wanted to give me the gems, they did. Actually, one person in particular, his name is 16th. He's also an artist, dope artist. But he was just like, let me show you how to use CapCut. And so he taught me how to use CapCut. And like from that moment, I just kind of started messing with it myself. And it's just been like, I feel like every reel that I create, I get a little bit better with understanding what I need to do visually, and also just like with the audio and whatnot. And I'm definitely working on like starting a YouTube too with Chanel. So definitely look for more content, because we're gonna be in that bitch. I'm already knowing.
Yeah, and you're just talented as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that is pure talent, because a lot of people pick up a phone and record shit and it's ass. You know what I'm saying? So it just seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, using props that I know sometimes you'll use props of just holding a flower and like little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Goes a long way. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like for me, like I've always been so like all on my Snap like stories, I always would be like, you're doing stupid shit just because I like to make people laugh. And people would always be like, oh my god, I love watching your stories, you always make me laugh, whatever. And that to me was like excitement. So I feel like even from that, like when I was younger, way back in the day, I'm like, it wasn't way back in the day, but it was back in the day. I was just so used to doing things like that now I kind of coupled the content creation with just who I am as a person in general. And I don't know, these ideas just come to me randomly too. You know, I feel as you progress, it just becomes better and it becomes easier and you just understand more. But it's just taking that first initial step. That's what it's all about. Once you do that,
for sure,
things align.
For sure. I love you. You sound so motivated and driven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you ever get discouraged?
Oh yeah. I mean,
how do you get over that? Like, what?
Well, I'm very spiritual, so that helps because I do Reiki, which is like a form of energy healing.
I don't know.
Which
I thought I just knew I was finna know what you was finna say, but then it's like, huh?
So
No disrespect.
no, you're good. So that definitely helps a lot
Mm.
because I'm able to meditate. So basically, it's like we'll say it's a very form of deep meditation,
Okay.
and I'm just sending good energy to myself. So that helps a lot because when I do get discouraged or things will happen, you know what I mean, that in my life that I'm like, ugh. I've gotten to a point where now my healing journey is able to get me to a point of like, okay, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna process what we need to process. We're gonna heal. We're gonna move forward, and that's literally what it is. So like I have this understanding of what I need to do when I get in those moments. We're only human. You're always
sure.
gonna have times where you have doubts come in and you're picking up others' energies and whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is.
Mm.
But if you're able to get to a point of understanding within yourself and like who you are, which obviously takes time, it becomes a little bit easier to deal with those moments because you're just able to really allow yourself to get through it, honestly.
So you don't never just like fuck this shit. I'm just gonna work. So, you know,
Oh yeah,
work.
all the time. sometimes that's an issue of mine because then I work, and I burn myself out.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot, like, you know, and even just away from the music, like with my job and what I got to do with that, sometimes too, it's a lot. And I also, I could say that I'm money hungry. So it's like when I get little side gigs and I'm like, do, everyone's like, oh my God, you don't have any time for me.
I can relate so much.
Like,
Yeah. What can you do, man? You gotta eat.
make
You know what I'm
money.
saying? I like Chick-fil-A.
So-
You know what I'm saying? For real.
No, but for real. So I feel like that for me just keeps me at a good level of understanding. And it took me some time to get to that point.
Mhm.
It took me some time to get to that point. So I definitely think like it's time, definitely. The time heals all wounds, essentially.
So I'm checking out your work and stuff, and I noticed you got like one of these on your desk. Like, so do you record your own music at home?
Yes.
Like, so how did you? Was it a lack of being able to record when you wanted to? Is that something you always wanted
No,
to do? Like, how did you end up recording at home?
Well, because I went to music school, I learned a lot of the recording and microphones, and to me, that's most of the information that I obtained from school was in regards to recording, because I really like the aspect of recording, even different instruments, and like the fact that there's different microphones and that they have different sounds. That to me is just really fascinating. So I like to I like to do my own little thing, you know, get the interface, do that and that. That to me is a fun time, and obviously too because I tried to make music back in the day
kind
and
of interface you got?
produce. I got an SSL2. Shout out the little mini one.
I don't know what that is. I know it is if I saw it.
Super
If I saw
gas.
it, I know it.
Yes.
What DAW you using?
Ableton.
Okay, what's that? Apple? Is that Apple?
No.
Okay.
Logic is
No, it's
Apple.
Logic. Okay.
Ableton. I don't think Ableton. It's just its own kind of software. It's the one that has the 3 lines, right?
I use
No.
a Studio One.
E. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, but Ableton has been my number one since day one. I named my cat after Ableton. It's pretty serious. We have a pretty serious relationship.
I see. With doing that, do you record any of the music? Do you record at home? Is it strictly to get mastered somewhere else, or do you ever record, mix, and master and release your own music?
It depends. Because usually I'll have the producer kind of. I mean, well, my R&B tracks, I'll worry about the mix and master, and I'll send it to somebody. But if I'm working on any of the electronic stuff, sometimes they'll want to do the mix and master, which I'm like, cool, play around, do what you got to do. I used to just record at home and then send it to mix and master, but once I started going to the studio, I'll record at home, like record my demos at home, write everything at home so that it's pretty much ready for me to go to the studio, and then I'll go to the studio. Because I use a emulation mic of the Neumann U87, but my favorite microphone is the Neumann U87.
Oh, so you use what kind of mic is that you got?
It's a company called Stam Audio. They're based in Chile, and they make like emulations of things, and they made an emulation of the 1960s U87, and I was like, need that, so I
And
bought it.
it's one mic. Okay.
It's just one mic, but it has
It's like
really
a
good
it's
sound.
like a mic that can emulate like 8 mics, like a handful of different mics.
I mean,
combined.
maybe.
No,
I just know that one specifically.
Yeah, for sure. I smell what you stepping in. I was
Yes.
just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be
Yeah.
wandering off and shit. I'm
Right.
sorry.
No, you're
But so with also making music at home, do you ever feel like, you know what I'm saying? Do you ever feel like one day you'll get to the point where will not be going to the studio as much and doing more?
Probably
Producing?
because I
Or you don't want that?
would probably want like a nice fat ass home studio, like
For
just
sure.
where it looks like I'm at the studio, but
sure.
I'm just at my
For
house.
sure. For sure. Same way. Same here.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, definitely. I just like it. Being in the comfort of your own home is great because the energy is there. It's not, and I love going to the studio. Don't get me wrong. I love going to the studio.
That is a
It's
cool place to go if
such
you
a
had
good
to go
time.
somewhere though. The studio
Yes.
is a cool place.
We have a great time. Like it's great. The vibes are awesome in there. But when you're at home, you know, it's just chill. My cats are there. We're chilling. My dog's there. Although my dog did come with me one time to the studio, which was dope. That was a good time. I was like,
What's your favorite part about, before I ask you that, is being an artist expensive?
oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I would say, especially when you're kind of like starting out, or it doesn't have to be per se, but it's just like if you really are serious about your craft, then yeah, like I would say, you know, you definitely be considerate of the fact that you are going to have to spend some money on yourself, but you're investing in yourself. So is it really expensive for that reason?
I'll be blowing that shit.
I know. I'm just like, it'll come back, swipe.
Just give me an Amazon gift card for everything. That's all I need. Man.
I'm saying literally,
That's
but
what
yes,
I did. My whole income tax check.
I'm gonna keep it 100% real. It can be expensive. Yes.
What's your favorite part about what you do?
I think the aspect of storytelling and just, again, for me, what's really important is healing, right? That's what it's all about. So my favorite thing is to tell stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about like the creation process? Well, not even creation process, but the creation process, like the working aspect, like is it recording? Is it doing shows? Is it networking? Other than, because we know you got a great heart, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you. No, I would say I feel like recording and doing shows goes hand in hand now, because if you would have asked me like a few months ago, I would have been like, recording, because I was still kind of like nervous about shows. But now it's such a good time that I'm like, this is really fun. I'm kind of addicted to doing shows. Like, it's so fun to even interact with the crowd and like be able to share myself and my music, you know, with them, and just see the response that I get. It's amazing. So maybe I would say right now doing shows is like top notch.
Is that something new you started?
Yeah.
How do you prep for, like, how did you get ready for something like that? Because I think I saw you on the street corner doing karaoke, like.
Yes, when we were in Vegas.
On Vegas? Like,
Yeah,
that
when we
tastes
were in
guts.
Vegas.
Like,
It took me some time to get to that, but sometimes you just gotta rip the Band-Aid off. You feel me? So that's just what I did.
all I'll be thinking about is, like, I'll be right there singing and somebody be like, boo.
And I'd be like, nope. No, but we did, one of the people that reacted, because me and Chanel were both doing it, and somebody was walking by, and they're like, y'all better do it, and we're like, hey. So now we have that between us. Every time like we got something going on, we're like, y'all better do it. And she knows.
Was that like a planned thing with, like, let's go to Vegas with a karaoke machine and
So
go crazy?
I went to visit Chanel when she lived there,
Okay.
and my thing is, if I'm gonna travel, I might as well do something
Make it
to,
count.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So I told her, I was like, we should go, you know, record at the Strip or whatever. And I literally Amazoned a karaoke machine to the like Airbnb that we were staying at, bought it, and then we did that, recorded content, and I was gonna send it back, but I'm like, actually no. And so I brought it back like with me on the plane, which was interesting, but it came back safe and sound, and now I have it, and actually we use it all the time. So
Did anybody drop any change while y'all was singing?
no, we were thinking about leaving a little hat out, but
Man,
no,
what?
we didn't.
These people got money. That's right.
Most people just like walked past and didn't do shit. So
You gotta put the hat down.
yeah, it was mainly just for us to get the content.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. That's dope.
really
You know what I'm
it
saying?
was,
That's
yeah.
dope. And that's like doing stuff like that. You'll never know who you will bump into. You know what I'm saying? Doing
Exactly.
stuff like that.
So yeah.
That's dope. That's dope for sure. Talk to me about other ways that you promote yourself as an artist. Like get your name
So
out to?
this one is a very came up with this idea and I love it. And I don't know essentially what like I don't have the demographics of how well this actually does, but I feel like building a personal connection is always going to be what's best. So basically what it is I have these QR code stickers that my cousin has her own art like collective essentially. Leaf Escape, shout out. But she created out of my Linktree QR code.
Does it have to do anything with glaucoma medicine?
No, I know. Why? Because it's called Leaf Escape.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm like, huh? No. It's all art.
Oh, okay. I mean, that could be art too.
It could be art. It could be art. It could be. But I gave her my QR code for Linktree, and I told her to make a sticker out of it. And then also too, if you can make stickers out of your Spotify, like what are the little QR codes for like the songs on Spotify. But I wanted one where I have all my information in one place. So it's kind of like a business card, but not really. It's also a sticker. So she literally made a sticker with a little border, and then it's just my QR code and then my name. So now everywhere, like literally everywhere I go, if I go to any festivals, if I go to any shows, anything like that, and I'm talking to people or somebody comes up to me, I'm like, and I make music. And it's like, back in the day they had mixtapes, now I got QR codes now.
That's a great idea. I used to do the same thing. Like I used to have them set right there, and I used to just give them out like 10 at a time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm salty because I ain't got no more, but I used to get them like 1,000 at a time. But everywhere I go, sometimes I just go downtown, just stick them on people, just walk around
Literally.
downtown,
Yep.
and just stick them on people's cars. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Little free promo,
Yeah, for sure. That's dope.
So that's definitely one of the ways to do it. Also, I do sometimes like with my reels on Instagram, I will just do an ad.
For sure.
Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Just to get some more like traction, and honestly that has worked pretty well, but that's also goes hand in hand with the fact that like things could be expensive, but again, you're investing in yourself. So like if you invest in marketing, then you're essentially just investing in yourself. And then also my marketing manager, he also does a lot of the back end like marketing on Spotify and like some of the social media stuff, but we're kind of working on getting me on another service, so we'll see where that kind of goes. But he is like the man for business and marketing, and he's one of my best friends, so like this is someone who I consider family type shit.
Is
So,
it just Spotify right now?
No, I'm on everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm on everything. But most of the marketing that we have done, I feel like has been like increased through. I mean, or it has been on mainly on Spotify. Yeah.
Do you pay attention to the analytics when you release projects? Like, see how many streams it's getting or where it's being streamed at? Is that something you pay attention to, or do you just let it do whatever it's going to do?
I feel like in the beginning I was a lot more like constantly checking. But now I'm kind of like, I just let it do what it needs to do. But I will look into it here and there. And then also when I have conversations with my manager, then, we'll look at the demographics together and see where things are at. Because it helps you get research and understand what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean? So it's not even a matter of just like, but you have to know what you can do better next time, or what is something that, other people could potentially be doing too, or whatever. But I feel like it is important to you don't have to nonstop check, but definitely be at a point where you are looking at what's happening essentially.
So you mentioned a couple teammates. So are you with the management company? Are you signed, or like these just people who you're close to,
It's
that
just
you was
people
like,
I'm close to.
you do this, you do that, you're good at this, you do that, you know what I'm saying? And how is that worked out so far?
I mean, me and my manager, we teamed up last year. Yes, when I released the first track. But I've known him since high school, like literally one of my best friends, my brother. So when we came together, it was just kind of like, okay, well, you're the creative side and I can be the business side. So would it help you if you had the time to really focus on making the music and you didn't really have to worry about the distribution aspect of it? Yes, I would love that. You know what I mean? And so when we came together, it was just smooth sailing essentially for me, because I was able to then be like, okay, I don't really have to worry about knowing certain things about the business side of it. I can really just like focus on what I need to do here. And that has allowed me to really focus on the social media, to get, better at the other stuff, the creative stuff, where I'm, doing that. And it's like having someone on my team where I can just be like, message and ask certain things. It's been a blessing. So I will say that, like, definitely also I'm grateful about the fact that like my own family is on my team. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Speaking of social media and family and, having managers and stuff like that, do you, and being so personable in your music, do you ever have to like catch yourself, like have to watch what you say, or do you, are you like paying attention, like maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe I shouldn't post that? Like, is that something that you worry about, or you just like, I'm me, fuck it?
I feel like before, when I first started, I was a lot more. Like, I'm also the type of person where it's just like, I want to make everybody happy, so I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I post this. Something like that. Now, I don't care. No, I want to keep it real, because I feel like what I want to really showcase in my brand, and when I was kind of coming up with like who Cakes is and what kind of brand aesthetic I want to have, it's like, it's essentially just like, I really want to keep it real, and I want to show just the process of just being who you are as the best way to be. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Earlier I asked you about your favorite part. We talked about it a few times. What's your least favorite part? If you could take away anything about what you do as far as, the music game, what would you take away and why?
I mean, this is gonna sound very contradicting, I feel like. But I feel like nowadays it is a lot harder to like make something out of it if you're a music artist, because of all this social media stuff. So I feel like I would make changes to the social media stuff, the algorithms, the whatever, because they don't push talent.
For sure.
They push dumb shit.
For sure.
That's what really irks me.
Sure.
Because there's so many talented people who are trying really hard to do what they got to do, but they're not getting pushed because of something
sexy
just
red. Exactly.
So it's not that I would take it away, but I would definitely make changes. And I would make it a little bit easier for the little people to go up, because they deserve it. You know what I mean?
Got a couple more questions. When you making music, you spoke to, making it for people, hoping that it's healing. But do you ever be like, I need a song like for the radio, I need a song for the guys, I need a song for the ladies, I need a song for them late nights? Is that something that you're conscious of, or is it just always a vibe when you're...
Yes. There are certain times, like my parents were like, stop making sad ass music, and I'm like, damn.
Stop being Juice WRLD.
I know, literally. So then I wrote Connected Souls, because I was like, okay, I'll write about something different, and it's more of a like happier song. It's written about sexual relations, but still it's something different. So I feel like, yes, definitely. And also when I work on the EDM stuff, then that can really go different ways, because like even the one track that I have a few EDM tracks that are out, but there is one like Cosmic Fire. That one was written about being abducted by an alien, you know what I mean? So it's just like there are certain times where I'm able to write a story about something just like completely random, and just put myself in the perspective of whatever I'm writing about. So yes.
That's dope. With being an artist, do you ever feel like that like you spoke to everything being so social media, do you ever find yourself like, maybe I should change this about myself or do this differently, or is it just always, it's me, take it or leave it? Or do you find yourself like, maybe I should do it like they do it? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I would say those thoughts definitely do come. And also just from my own kind of like experiences where I was not necessarily fed certain things, but just made to think that like things would go a specific way if I acted like this, or if I did this, or if I did that. And now having to shed all that away and just be like, no, it's really about who you are. So I feel like at this point in time, I'm very just, no, like I want to be who I am. And I have had, even my mom would be, you look busted in this. this real. You should do your makeup more. Whatever. And I'm just like, no, I want to like keep it real. You know, I also do like a little bit light makeup, whatever, but I want to mainly showcase just this kind of like internal beauty and just very be who you are type of deal. And it took me some time to get to that point where I'm okay with showcasing that, because there was definitely times where I'd be like, oh, maybe no, maybe no, maybe not. Maybe I got to look like this because they're doing this or whatever. But now I'm just like, nah. I'm going to do it my way, because I know that, you know, the way that God is guiding me, I know that that's what's meant to happen. So
For sure. That's dope. Well, right now in Chicago, you know, it feel good outside now, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's like 10 degrees or whatever, 20 degrees, but it ain't zero no more. But what's your opinion on Chicago as a music city? Is it somewhere that you would intend on staying? Do you feel like you got to get to LA or Atlanta to really boost your career? What is them thoughts you think about?
yeah, I mean, in general, I don't necessarily want to stay in Illinois, but do I think Chicago is a great music, just in general for everything? Yes, I do. In terms of the other cities, yeah, of course, there's a lot of opportunity out there, but Chicago is honestly on the like rise, and there is a lot here in terms of even both EDM and the rap and R&B. There's a lot of things you can do. There's so many places that you can perform at or get your name out there and do all that. So I'm definitely staying in Chicago because I want to utilize that, and I want to kind of like build myself up here and then move forward. So instead of being like, oh, well, because I don't really like the cold. That's my thing. I don't like the cold. But but
Me
when
neither. I was born in December. I still don't like it.
literally. So I'm like, no. But because of the fact that there's so much opportunity here, I don't want to leave right now. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that Chicago is a good music, like honestly, one of the best cities for music, along with like the major ones too. But there's so much here. There's so much. So no, I'm not going to move forward until I know that I can.
Okay, for sure. Another question we gotta ask for you get up out of here. Will the beef ever end?
Will the beef ever end? It's already.
We don't want y'all to end up like Tupac and Biggie.
No. It's already ended. The beef has already ended. Yeah, because even when we like played the diss tracks to each other, it was a few months ago. You know what I mean? I don't know if he knows that I released it, but hey,
He knows. Trust me. We know everything.
He said we know.
We know.
But the beef is already done. I have respect for that man no matter what. At the end of the day, it's all love. You know what I mean? And I'm never the type of person to hold grudges against anybody. I don't care what was said, done, this, that, whatever. No, because it's I'm the type of person where it's just like it takes two to tango, and I'm not gonna disrespect anybody or anything like that. So that was my only diss track. I said what I had to say. I said my shit. We're good. We're fine. The beef is over. We're done. All good.
With a diss track under your belt, is that something that you would do again?
Probably.
You know? Okay, for
It was
sure.
a fun time.
For
So
sure.
if anybody pisses me off, no, just
For
kidding.
sure. No, diss tracks, it's a part of hip hop. Some of the best songs ever, you know what I'm saying, is
And
diss tracks.
it's fun, you know what I mean? Like that was my whole thing with it. It's like not I mean, yeah, obviously I am speaking from feelings and whatever, but at the end of the day too, like it's fun. And I don't think even him and I, you know, when we sent it to each other, I don't think we were like, oh wow, nah, nothing like that. We were just like, all right, cool, yeah, dope.
For anybody watching and listening and meeting you or seeing or listening to you for the first time, give them a reason why they should check out your music.
Again, just the aspect of storytelling. I feel like I do a pretty good job of really honing in on like the track and telling the story of not only whatever it is I'm writing about, but telling the story of the actual music itself. And I just feel very connected to the music. So if you wanna, feel some shit, listen to my music.
For sure. And then too, just real quick, what you got going on right now? What's out? What's coming up? What can we expect?
So like I said, I just released
Oh yeah.
this track. That was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and Chanel actually have a song that's coming out on the 14th of February, which we're very excited about. Pretty much you can expect a song from me once a month.
Is that Valentine's Day?
Huh?
Is that Valentine's Day?
It is Valentine's Day. Not fond of Valentine's Day, but we're going.
Is that hint? Is it a Valentine's?
It's not really a Valentine's Day song. It's it's essentially about the lack of communication in the world.
Okay.
So
I can't wait to hear it. Y'all got dope ass
Yeah,
energy. I swear, y'all like got like sisters. Like
yeah, it's a vibe for sure. I think everybody's gonna
like
really
I was just
mess with
expecting her
it.
to be here. It was gonna be dope. It was gonna be dope.
I know. We definitely got to get her on.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no. Honestly, expect a song from me once a month for the rest of the year. Like we're pretty much set up and ready to go. I have a show at Ricky G's on the 17th of February, and then we're also going to be popping out, me and Chanel, to Bourbon on Division on the 22nd of February for a show. So yeah.
Okay, that's dope. And I just lost a question that was at the tip of my head. But, you know what I'm saying, we got 8 minutes of camera time left, so I definitely appreciate your time. It's all fucked up outside. It's Friday. It don't matter to me. I work weekends. But I appreciate your time. If you could, tell the people where they can find you on social media, where they can find the music, where they can work with you, all that good shit.
So my handle on everything is Cakes, Cvkes.
And it's the only one.
It's the only one. That's why I was like, perfect. And I'm every platform you can find, I'm on there, also spelled the same way. I'm trying to think on my social media handles. Some of them could be _music. But if you just look for Cakes, you'll find it. And yeah, if you want to collab, hit my Gmail, cakesmusic@gmail.com. Let's go.
All right. Like I said, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
In a minute.
Appreciate you.
Gang.
E.
When I lost my dog to the streets, it ain't no beef. They wings